here we go again. Thursday night.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Boys and girls. I'm messing with new toys today, so if stuff goes nuts, it's Lori's fault. I almost gave her the buttons back, but, I'm not about to do that. So here comes. Whoa, there we go. Yeah, I was messing around with different cameras today and different software, trying to get, because I gotta look at Angus's page. Hang on a second. I gotta see if this worked. It doesn't look like it did. Angus, if you're watching, I don't think it worked.
Well, it's just now 7 o'clock.
Yeah, that's right. And his wouldn't start.
Oh, Keith Crane says, Vernon Kelton Band says hi.
Hi, brothers. How are we? I just live in this little box. Vernon Kelton Band says hi.
All right.
Man, I tell you what, I was thinking about you guys today. It's almost enough to get me to go outside. Playing with you guys, that would be cruel.
To Keith.
To Keith, yeah. No. Listen, Keith has no problem keeping his chair. I'm working on something else.
I know.
And what else am I working on? Well, I'm working on all kinds of stuff. Working on a 2-album record deal. Thank you, Charlie. I'm working on a live documentary. What else am I doing?
With the Vernon Kelton Band.
That's right, with the Vernon Kelton Band. This is the first time. No, I don't know. It's just fun for me. I have to be busy, and as I say, it's better to be busy than bored.
Working on the show.
And yeah, tweaking the show, just trying to get it better. So we're actually going to go to a traditional format. Why? Because I accidentally subscribed to Apple TV, and
because he thought James Bond was on.
Remember last week I was freaking going to go see the new James Bond. Okay, free Apple TV. I said, all right, free Apple TV for a week. Well, we happen to love Apple TV because we had it for a year.
Yeah.
Because I bought a Mac or something, and they free Apple TV for a year, and so we got to watch the morning show, which is about this very thing.
But it's Jennifer Aniston. And
this is more like the evening show, but it's great. And season 1, we watched season 1. That would have been over a year ago, before pre-pandemic. Was it pre-pandemic?
Yeah, because Jennifer Aniston won the award, and
that's right. And Brad Pitt was there. Yeah. So anyway, I'm not trying to be the morning show because it's not clearly nighttime.
Lenny says, "Hey guys."
Hey Len.
Hey Lenny.
We'll see you tomorrow, I hope.
Yeah.
And it's just I just like getting it closer to what it's supposed to be. So we're going to keep the segments moving right. Lori's got a new sound for when she wants me to play the commercial. Play him your sound.
You took my buttons away.
There it is. I took her buttons away. But that's, we're trying to stay on the clock here. So let's see. What else? Okay. I know what else. What else?
What else?
I don't know. This has been an incredibly easy day because yesterday was so insane. I felt like one of those guys. No, buy, sell, buy, give it away.
Angus is watching now.
Angus is watching now. Is it working on your page? This live video is in. I'm logged on to your Facebook page, but I don't see it on there, so you can kiss my ass goodbye. I don't know. It's just fun, doing new things and finding new ways to broadcast. The fact, and I don't know if my Twitch viewer is on yet or not.
Oh yeah, you have a Twitch viewer.
I have where whoever you are, I don't know who you are yet. I'm sure I'll find out, but I see, I do my analytics and I see you log on. I don't actually see you log on, although that's a nice shirt. And it's when I end the show, I look at the analytics and there you are. And I know it's you because it says one person. And,
that's right.
And it's you. So if you, I don't know how you got there. I'm grateful that you're there. If you want to, hit me with some info, we'll shout you out. If you want to stay anonymous Twitch, right? Did I say Twitter? Twitch. I don't know. See, I got to rewind to know what I said. Twitch. Mm-hmm. One Twitcher. Mm-hmm. I hope you're enjoying the show. And thank you.
Twitchers?
No, I don't think so. Is it?
Twitchies.
What?
Twitchies.
Twitchies?
I don't know. I'm making it up.
So we've been doing that for a while, haven't we? Yeah. Okay, so let's see.
So tonight.
Tonight, yes. Tonight.
Saxophone player, Frank Elmo. Played with Julian Lennon, Power Station, Duran Duran.
Well, here, you know what? I'll show you.
Others.
I will show you some of the pictures from his illustrious career.
Yes.
Check this out. Because there's Frank. But this is interesting because we know these people. Is that Gerardo? Is that Gerardo Velez?
No.
There's, I think it is. There's Skunk and Julian and Alan.
Oh, yeah, singing?
Yeah, singing. Yeah. And there's Alan Childs and Carmine Rojas.
China Club people.
Yeah. So he's down with it, and we're down with that. So thank you, Frank.
That's probably how he connected with Julian Lennon.
Yeah, Julian was always there.
Always.
And that's fine, man. Everybody needs a place to go.
That's right.
So it's going to be interesting to find because he played with some people.
Well, I know of Duran Duran.
Right, Duran
Power
Duran.
Station, which is one of the guys from Duran Duran.
Right, but it's what's his name, Robert Palmer.
Yeah.
That was
a good band.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to hear some of those stories. It's kind of like we had Michael Bradford on, bass player, and it's funny how famous people are and how famous they're not. Like, there's people that are so famous that you just have to say their name, especially if they have one name, and you know who it is. Cher.
Madonna.
And alike. Prince. But then there's other people that once you dig up one line, like Michael Bradford, the bass player from Kid Rock, all of a sudden, really, Ball with the Ball, and it's like, and Stephanie Eulenberg, and that whole thing, when that came out, that was 99, we talked about that whole thing, and when I go in and dig in and see what Michael Bradford did in his career, it's pretty significant stuff. So, I'm voting for the Silver Star people. Gold Star people are great. Mm-hmm. But there's more Silver Star people. They have more stories that you have not heard. That's the thing. Okay, I mean, if
there was nobody making the music.
Well, yeah, but that's not it. That's true. But think about all the stories on. Pick somebody. Pick a stage, any stage.
What are we talking about?
A person that has a backing band. Rod Stewart, thank you very much.
Okay.
I mean, there were the Carmine Appice years, but now, like Sting, you might know his people, but Rod Stewart, chances are, unless you're a really devoted fan, you're not going to know who's in the band. And those are the guys with the best stories. We can't hear any more about Rod's, stuff that he does or did, or glad he's not doing anymore. But
he was like cooking on television the other day with somebody. Let's watch Rod cook.
Yeah, let's watch Rod cook. I've seen Rod cook in the bathroom at the China Club.
Oh.
Come on, John. Come on, you two. But it's it's weird how you watch everybody evolve, and like I said, the most fun part of it for me is letting you guys hear the stuff that you would never hear. Because while Rod's out doing his meet and greet, and God bless you, Rod, I loved your stuff. Now, stop me in my tracks. Aha.
Well, it's 10 after.
Zoom user entered. Right on time.
It's our guest.
Okay.
It's Frank.
Come in. And Zoom user is connecting to audio.
Zoomy.
Slowly.
Oh, hit that star button.
Oh, star button?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if it's going to work. There it goes. Stars. Hey!
Hello! Hey, what's happening?
How are you doing?
Good, Steve. How are you?
Good, man. Real good. Good to see you.
Same here. Same here.
So, what's up?
Not too much. I'm talking to you right now.
Yeah.
And we're both the better for it.
Yes, we will be.
I looked. Angus put together a run of pictures, and because every time I try to play somebody's video,
I know. He told me the deal. Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass. So it's hard to start the thing, and it's like here
Right.
he is, what he does, and then here he is live. So I did that, and I'm looking through the pictures, and I'm saying, is that Gerardo Velez? Is that?
It was, right? Alan Childs.
Alan Childs, Gerardo,
Gerardo Velez. I don't believe so.
Oh wow, I don't know who it was.
And which picture are you talking about?
There's a picture where Julian's wearing a British T-shirt, British flag T-shirt.
And
I could show it to you.
It was Justin. That was the Julian Lennon band. That was Alan and Carmine.
Yeah.
Justin Clayton, guitarist.
Oh.
Chuck Kentis, myself, and maybe there was Jeff Baxter was in there too.
Yeah, Skunk. I saw Skunk's picture in there. Oh, here, wait. I'll play the thing. Here, watch. Because I can.
Okay.
I think I can. I know I can. There we go. Okay, so this would be you. I'll stop it when it gets to the picture.
okay.
And no, not that one.
Yeah, in the white.
Who's singing in the front? Who's singing?
That's David Prater, great singer,
Oh,
great producer.
Oh God!
We've had him on.
That's
sometimes.
David. I got a David Prater story for you. All right, wait a minute.
I got lots of them.
Okay,
Oh,
so
man.
now
David Prater. It does look like Gerardo.
is that Prater in the suspenders?
No. That's Justin Clayton. Prater wasn't in Julian's band.
Okay, listen, it's getting tough these past few years.
Easy to tell.
Yeah, Skunk, Julian, I can tell. Alan, I can tell. Carmine, I can tell. That's there you go.
And
I can tell.
Chuck Kentis on the left there, the keyboard player.
Ah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But it's funny when because that's
a China Club crew.
Yeah, that's a China Club.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah.
Well, do I have to? I don't think so.
Okay, we have someone saying hello to you, Frank. Barry Rose. Says,
Barry
wow.
Rose.
Great guitarist. Hi, Barry.
Interesting little story about Barry. He's, it gets boring around here every once in a while, and so I come up with these things to do. And I have a good buddy of mine who, every time he opens his mouth singing, it sounds like Roy Orbison. And I've been on him for years. You gotta do this. You know what I mean? It's everybody's like, nobody's gonna see Roy, so you might as well go out there and try and do it, right? And it's the bands, the heritage bands, the legacy bands are very big right now, right? So we've been trying to do this for I'm gonna say 3 years, but it's probably been more like 4 or 5. And finally, I ran into Keith Crane. Do you know Keith? Plays drums for 1910 Fruit Gum Company.
No, I don't believe so.
Well, anyway, I had him on the show. I can't believe you said David Prater. So I had Keith on the show.
That was his picture.
Just wait. So anyway, where was I? I'm lost in the woods.
Keith Crane and Barry
All right,
Rose.
Keith Crane. Anyway, Keith Crane, I said, can you put a backing band together of like-minded people so that I can, try to arrange and create this thing behind Bruce's talent?
Yeah,
and Barry Rose is the guitar player.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's great.
Yeah, and he's doing he's doing it well. Don't let it go to your head. You're not getting any more money. Ever. No, no. It's got some great guys playing, and it's really a lot of fun. And we just connected with an agent, and it's so
Oh, that's
Barry
great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, Barry's a great guy. I haven't seen him in like 30 years, I think.
I have never seen him.
No.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Well, I've seen pictures of him, and
Right.
I know we had that video. We did do the video call.
Yeah.
And they shot a sizzle reel on Long Island, and
Okay.
so they took me to dinner.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm stranded out here and whatever it is. So anyway,
Well, there you go.
yeah. Well, there you go. So anyway, the premise of this show for me was. It was like it's like the expanded China Club. Hey, because it's like ships passing in the night, or it's like the dressing room thing. So when I saw your picture with Julian's band, and I remember many the night at China Club, Julian was like a regular there. But
Right.
it was like, where was I in that picture? You know what I mean? It's just everything's just so familiar. And I love that I get to reconnect with people or connect with people and kind of keep that spark of contact going.
Right. That's cool.
So, yeah. So, I mean, what's up now, man? Shit kind of sucks, right?
Yes, it does.
No,
Well, actually, since the pandemic hit, I stopped performing live, as did everyone. But luckily, I've gotten a lot of studio work, so I've done a lot of all different kinds of music, which is great. And usually, it'll just be me going in the studio and doing something with nobody else around. So it worked out good.
Oh, so you're going to a location then? You're not phoning it in?
Nope. I haven't had to do that. I'm not really set up for it. I keep meaning to do it, but usually when I go in, it's just me and an engineer. And at this point, it's loosening up a little bit. Like I just recently did some jazz stuff with a quintet in a studio, but,
Wow.
Socially distancing and all that stuff too. So, it's
Yeah,
worked out
well,
okay.
listen, that sounds like that sounds great. And where are you in the city or?
I'm in Parsippany, New Jersey.
Oh,
And
Parsnip, New Jersey. I know it well.
yeah. And I luckily, most of the studios have been local, like Little Falls, New Jersey, Sparta, all around this centralized area. So it's cool.
That's
It's
great.
worked
And
out good. Yeah.
are they running tape or a drive or what? Is it?
Everything's digital.
Yeah, amazing, huh?
Yep.
That's what makes it. And we do. I'm sure Angus told you about the peas, or maybe I'm not sure, but maybe he did.
Oh yes, he did.
So, and it occurred to me, because almost everybody has a studio in their home, but you would have to take the track and get studio time somewhere. But
Well, I could do that very easily with no cost to anybody, so it's not a problem.
bonus. That's cool.
Yep.
Then I will
Yep.
absolutely. Well, I'll continue to pick your brain throughout the next hour, and I will decide on the madness track for you,
Okay.
and then you can do whatever you want with it.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I just wanted to be in a situation where I was playing with different guys, and I don't know. Do you know Booker King? Plays with Corey Glover, bass player.
No, I don't.
He's certainly one of those guys. And
Right. I saw him on your show once before, though.
Yeah, he's great.
well, I sent Booker a track, and he sent it back to me the next day with a bass part that was so funky that because we were cutting to a grid, I went back in and replayed the drums to what he was playing.
Oh wow.
And it gave me the idea that it's kind of like linear jamming, you know what I mean? Because I don't get to influence anything that you do except by what I play.
Right. Sure.
And wherever it goes next after that. So, and I'm starting to compile rhythm tracks because it's weird. I send them out to anybody that really wants to get them. Some don't get there, some never come back. But I realize that if I send more complete tracks, like I have rhythm tracks of me and Booker, and rhythm tracks of me and Angus, at least you'll have a key and a form, and then you can just go anywhere you want to go. So.
Right. Okay. That sounds interesting.
Okay, yeah. Oh, it's
I look
interesting.
forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It is. It's fun, and there's no harm, no foul.
Right.
Whatever. It's
Okay.
yeah, and I mean it's the Wild West now, man. I'm looking at the way things are, and it's good that you're getting sessions. So, are you a reader?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I kind of had a jazz background, but then I got into rock and roll, then I went back to jazz, but I'm still doing everything. I always say I don't want to be a jazz sax player or a rock sax player or classical. I just want to be a sax player. And you kind of have to do it all. So
Yeah,
The Matt Beck of sax.
yeah, the Matt Beck of sax.
Yeah.
Yes,
right.
exactly. Well, and so in the bands. I mean, I saw the list. How long? What was the power station experience like?
It was cool. It was good. That came about. I did the first Julian Lennon tour in '85. I was off for 2 weeks, and I got a call from Carmine. I used to call Carmine the godfather of rock and roll because he would hook up everybody with gigs, and he was the man.
And he had the right name, Carmine. You got it. That's
right,
the Godfather.
exactly. You're right. You're right. But yes, so I got a call that they were looking for a sax player, and I said, "Hey, what the heck?" So I went in to, I think, Silver Cup Studios, and we rehearsed for a couple of weeks. I expected to see Robert Palmer in there, but Robert had just left because his solo career was taking off. That's when Addicted to Love and all that stuff came out with the girls behind him and all that stuff. So they had this guy, Michael DeBar, who did it also.
I know Michael DeBar. Yeah.
Yep. And actually, he's still active too, and he's also an actor. But Tony Thompson was there, and the guys from Duran Duran. It was great. It was a really interesting experience.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So that's yeah, man. I mean I remember that was a huge period for Robert Palmer.
Yeah.
And I really liked the Power Station vibe. I mean, his thing was cool, his Robert Palmer thing, but the Power Station just, I don't know, it had, for lack of a better word, it's a little bit more powerful, which is, where I like to be.
Right. And that was because of, Tony and Bernard Edwards' influence as the producer and all that. That had a big influence on what everybody was doing. And those tracks were amazing.
They were. And so where did you track those? At the Power Station?
I didn't do the recording, but I think that is where they did it.
Yeah,
I wasn't on the record. I just did the tour.
So Michael took over for Robert Palmer when he went to do the solo thing.
Correct.
I'm gonna have to look or snoop around for some of that stuff. I just saw Michael last night. Unbelievable. He's in.
Did you really?
Shape. I didn't see him in person. I haven't seen anybody in person.
But
I saw him last night. He was playing a Les Paul. Looked like an old Sunburst, no binding on it. But I mean, he was playing. It was,
Where'd you see that?
Oh, I swear.
Yeah.
On TikTok. That's my wife and producer.
Yeah, I figured I could tell. Hi, how you doing? Hiya.
So which came first, Power Station or Duran Duran?
Well, I was with Power Station. We had just an American tour. But during that time, we were on a flight to go to some gig, and John Taylor stands up and says, "Hey guys, by the way, we're going to be doing Live Aid." I was like, "Fine, that sounds pretty good." And so a couple of the guys from the Power Station were asked to play with Duran Duran. Myself, the percussionist, this fella Gary Wallace, who went on to do all that stuff with Pink Floyd. Remember when they had that big circle behind him with the percussionist? He was the percussionist. And Curtis King, background singer, also, and Chuck Kentis, the keyboard player, was also on that Power Station thing. It was great.
That's cool. That must have been fun.
Yeah, so we did the Duran thing. It was great. That was like such a scene down in Philadelphia at the Four Seasons is where everybody was, and it was just like insane.
Yeah, I was going to ask which one you did because there was the
Yeah.
Wembley one, and yeah, that was a crazy. The thing that I remember about that the most clearly from the outside, because I didn't play at it, was Phil Collins taking the supersonic transport to
Right.
America to play on both stages.
The Concorde, right?
Yeah, the Concorde.
Yep. Yep. That was pretty wild. In fact,
Yeah.
he played with Led Zeppelin, and so did Tony Thompson. So they were kind of playing together, and that was what it was. You know, I just kept seeing Phil was giving Tony Thompson dirty looks, but yeah.
Well,
I was actually on the side of the stage watching it, so it was pretty wild.
Oh, cool! That must have been great, though. You know,
it was.
Some of the things that we get to see because of what we do. I saw Zeppelin with Jason Bonham on.
Oh, really? Okay.
Atlantic's 40th.
Wow.
Oh man, it was wild, but I mean, if you were either there or you weren't, right?
Right.
And we actually had tickets to 3 of the 4 nights that they did "Song Remains the Same." At the Garden. Yeah.
Right.
You don't know at the time that it's going to be that, but it's
right.
It's cool.
It's history.
Yeah, it's absolutely history. It's history. So, talking about history, how did it start for you?
I mean, like, how did I pick up the instrument, or just?
Well, yeah. Was it always sax? Was it sax in school? Did Dad say, "Here, son, take this and make some money for the family"? How do you know?
I wish. No, I started on clarinet in the 4th grade.
Reed, reed instrument, reed.
Yeah. Well, I wanted the sax, but I think it was $10 more for the sax, so I got the clarinet. And back in those days too, I'm probably your age. I'm 69 or so.
Exactly.
And,
ding, 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 ding.
Exactly.
Thank you. But anyway, I started on clarinet, and in 7th grade, I walked into the band room, and I was large for my age. The guy goes, "Oh, look, you're my Barry sax player." So I put the clarinet down and I took up the Barry sax, and that was the end of that.
Wow. So that brings because I was in band and did all those. Did all the classes where you had to learn all the instruments and what they did, and that's why I always make my cross reference between the sax, the brass, and the reeds, because it crosses. Is it brass or is it reeds?
Right.
That's my way of showing that I can still remember stuff from 4th grade.
Okay.
But it raises the real question of how different is the transition? To go from this to this, is it like just a different? Is the keyboard the same? Is the board the same?
It's pretty similar, actually. One of the reasons they want you to start on the clarinet first is because the clarinet is actually much more difficult than the sax. I mean, the saxophone is difficult when you get into advanced studies, but as a beginner, it's much easier to go from clarinet to sax than from sax to clarinet.
Is that because of the embouchure?
No, but that's a good question. I'm glad you asked.
That sounds like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. No, because the clarinet has little holes that you have to cover. If you don't cover the holes, it'll squeak, and you really have to be much more accurate. Saxophone, you just push down the button, and it's either going to work or it's not. So,
I didn't realize that the clarinet doesn't have that mechanical thing that the sax has.
Oh yeah, it does. Except there's little rings with holes in it, and if you don't cover the holes and the rings at the same time, it'll squeak. So
I know what you're teaching. It's one of the things with the pads on it, but it has a hole in the middle. Yeah, I really did look at all that stuff. I mean, it was music. There was no. I mean, sax, to my understanding, is the most recent invention for the orchestra.
Right, that's true.
Like 200 years old or whatever it is. And I love
like
that.
1865 or something like that is when it.
But so hairs.
Right. So most orchestral music, Baroque and classical doesn't really have saxophone until like, the 1900s.
So yeah,
That's
they weren't charging it antietam to the saxophone.
right. Correct. That's right.
That's good, man. No, listen, I love sax. I mean, I have a lot of friends that play, pro guys, and to be able to do that. But I'm glad you enlightened me to something, because I would have never remembered about the what do they call them? What is it called?
Keys.
Okay,
Keys.
I would have never remembered about the key with the hole in it, but it makes all the sense in the
Right.
world that you would have to be more. You'd have to lay it down right instead of just closing the pad. It's amazing.
Yeah,
That's cool.
It is.
And it's
Right.
a
Which
sexy,
isn't. Say again.
I said it's a sexy instrument.
There you go.
Hey, get out of there. Oh goodness, it is. It certainly is.
Come
And
on, Junior Walker.
Well, let me
Yeah.
just tell you one thing real quick. Now, I kind of played the clarinet my whole life. Never really, I was always a sax player. Clarinet, if I was reading some big band stuff or doing a studio thing, I'd play the clarinet. But like a year or two ago, I got a call to do this. I think one of the pictures that I sent had a little group. We were hired to play behind this rapper, a guy named Young Gravy, and he did an old song, an old clarinet feature song, and I actually played the clarinet on this, and it's gotten a million hits and all this stuff, and it sold a lot of records.
I'm gonna be looking for Young Gravy.
There's a song called Old Biscuit.
Yeah,
No.
Old Biscuit. Young Gravy featuring Old Biscuit.
Well, Young Gravy is a 6'5" white kid from Wisconsin who's
Wow.
Oh,
chilling.
Young White Gravy. There's a difference. That's like Young Sausage Gravy, kind of.
Right. It's kind of
Am
like
I getting in trouble for this?
No,
Okay, don't let me cross the line.
no.
that. Right.
Young
But
White.
but the song is called Early Afternoon Stroll, and it's we had an actual rhythm section do it, but really all they used, the producer took it. Terry Silverlight played drums. I mean, it was like an amazing rhythm section, but they took everything out, and all it was the clarinet with a hip hop beat and all this other stuff. It was pretty funny.
Oh, I'm going to be checking this out for
Yeah.
sure.
It's very.
Wow, that's cool. And Young Gravy, man. How come I haven't seen Young Gravy? How young is Young Gravy?
It's kind of
I
like
think it's-
Machine Gun Kelly. He's tall and white.
Yeah, it's true,
And a
Machine Gun
rapper.
Kelly.
Well, he's not rapping.
Yeah, right.
No, he's too busy.
He's
with
great,
great
by the way.
bars.
He's great.
Machine Gun Kelly, have you seen him?
Yeah.
Have you seen him play guitar?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I mean. He's very talented.
Yeah, no, you can't take it away.
Nope.
Right.
Gotta move over and let the youngins up.
There you go.
All right, so speaking of the youngins, I'm going to pay for the. I can't. No way that I can segue into this. I have to play a quick commercial, and I'll meet you back here in a minute if that's okay.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right, see you then.
Hey, Brad, I hear those sleigh bells are ringing, and that gets me thinking.
Really, Colby? That's a surprise.
We all know spectacular holiday moments begin at Bradley's Jewelers.
That's true.
This year, I say dig deep, people. Romance is on the line. We must make creativity paramount when gift giving. I say raise the stakes.
Okay, why not dream in color with scrumptious sapphires, red velvet rubies, and a host of colorful gemstones from around the world?
Love it. Now amp it up a bit.
Well, in ancient times, smooching under the mistletoe was considered an aphrodisiac and believed to bring you luck in your love life. So why not hang the jewelry from the mistletoe and,
Hey, this is a family program.
Okay, regardless of your innovative presentation, a little special something from Bradley's always puts magic in the moment.
Like warm apples and cinnamon.
You betcha.
Want to see more? Shop online at bradleys-jewelers.com or visit our gallery in Fort Myers.
From a little bit of Kringle,
To some tingle in your jingle.
we've got you covered
Wrapped up and in the bag.
at Bradley's Jewelers.
Mwah.
Hello there. Oh. Are you talking to me? Oh, there you go. I didn't hear a word you just said. Now I hear you. You're talking to me?
You talking to me?
I used to do that to my sound man all the time.
Oh, right.
He'd say, check your mic, and I go, okay.
I think that's funny once for a sound.
Yeah, once. Of course, that's not my style. Every day.
Right.
Hey, it's working now.
Well, he was a kid too.
Yeah, it was funny once, and it was funny for other people the second time. But yeah, I was a kid. I was like 8. Anyway, God forbid. It's funny. I love doing the show, and I love the fact that I get these sponsors and all the people that support the show and do all that. It's pretty cool. So
that is very cool.
Yeah, I mean, you need. It's interesting, but you really do need support out here. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching. Do you watch much television? I guess you're sequestered. You probably watch a little bit of television. We've been watching the morning show, right? Which is, if you've seen that, with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, right. Yeah, I haven't seen
Apple. That. It's incredible, but it's all about broadcasting a show.
Right.
And it's like, so, it makes me want to get stuff tighter together. I mean, no, we're not NBC, but it's the shit that goes on behind the scenes, though, another story. And it reminds me about, when we were all coming up, whatever bands we were in 20, 30 years ago, and you got in who's that? Angus? Could be. I don't know. It doesn't stop around here.
This would not happen on the morning show.
No, it doesn't happen on the morning show. They have somebody screaming behind a glass door, go to 5 now.
Right.
Anyway, I'm not gonna bother with that. Did Angus tell you about? He told you about the questions and that whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and he told you about Free for All Friday, or?
Yes, he did.
Wow, Angus, you A's across the board. Yeah. Oh, that phone's pretty smashed.
He's a good man.
He's a great and a great bass player too.
Oh yeah, he grew up like a couple miles from where I am right now, in Morris Plains, New Jersey. Yep.
Well, we have Angus's bandmate Joe Castelli grew up in Parsippany.
Do you know Joe
Castelli?
Really?
Yeah.
I know the name, but I can't place him actually.
Guitar player.
Okay.
Sound engineer.
Yeah, he's a front of house guy. Anyway, we do this thing on Fridays called the Friday Free for All, and anybody that's ever been on the show comes in, and like everybody's from New Jersey except me.
Most people are.
No.
Well,
bookers.
I remember the Rat Race Choir. You used to play all over the place up here. In New Jersey. Yep.
Well, and every time I have somebody on from Jersey, and thank you for remembering, because that was a lot of fun back then. As I always say, it was a moment in time. But what club do you associate with that band?
That's a good question. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I know I used to get the Aquarian all the time, and you guys were all over the Aquarian and New Jersey nightlife. There was another one, but you guys were everywhere. Did you do a lot down the shore too?
It started up down the shore. We got down to Bricktown and what was the other place? Trade Winds and
Trade Winds, right?
Yeah, we played. We did. We got pretty far down there, and that was probably right before everything changed with the drinking age and all that.
Right.
But yeah, because it was good for a while.
Yeah,
it was great. It was great for a while. It's like bootleggers, Oh, well, booze is legal. Now what are we gonna do?
Right. Did you guys? Some of the bands I was in, we used to do like 5 nights in one club, which was unheard of now,
Yeah, but we did what we did. Actually, Rat Race we broke out of the Hamptons because we were playing on one of those showmobiles in a park outside in White Plains, and a guy who lived in the apartments behind where we were playing liked what we were doing, and he came down. He said, "Listen, I'm a bartender at this club for the summer in the Hamptons, and you guys should come out." And that was the first time that we ever had an extended gig anywhere. And the first time was 2 weeks, and then the next time, the following year, was like the whole summer. So
wow.
yeah, it was, man, let me tell you what, it was amazing. That was where if we had the most concentrated area of growth in our career from, call it 68 to 88 or whatever. It went on a little longer than that, but call those the sweet years. Those 2 years in the Hamptons, staying on the property. The first year we stayed in another house. It was like a guest house. The place was it was an old mansion that they used to run rum into up through whatever it's not the swamps, but it's
right.
However, that's bootlegging, and they would have all the speakeasies out there because it was the end of Long Island and nobody was going out there. And the second year, they let us stay upstairs because they left upstairs like a house, and the downstairs was a nightclub. It was like, holy shit! I don't even have to go outside to have sex.
Right.
No, just come on upstairs. I got 15 more minutes. It was nuts, man. It was, and so that's why everybody thinks we're a Long Island band. We're actually from Westchester County, from White Plains.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, man, I remember. Did you ever do what was the place up in Storrs, Connecticut?
Shabu Inn.
The Shabu Inn. We did
I don't believe so.
6 nights there, in like 68 or 69.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, imagine how well, I was going to say, imagine how Britney Spears feels. She's at the same show every night, but probably not a good.
Different.
Well,
No,
probably not a
I
good
don't think so. I don't think so. At one point, God, that poor thing. But anyway, one of the things we used to do at that time, like around the mid 70s, there was like all these hotel chains, and we'd spend a month playing each hotel and then go to the next one. I have to say, it was kind of the disco era too, being a sax player and all that stuff. But I got to play 6 nights a week for years, for like 2-3 years doing that.
That's really cool.
Well, I mean, we did that. Rat Race did that as well. It just was all one-nighters.
Right.
Our longest stretch was 22 gigs in 21 days.
Wow.
Without a day off, yeah. Nuts. And it was the last one that was the double.
Great. Excellent.
Yeah, come on, this isn't even working anymore. I can't.
Right.
But listen, it was. You know what? We were lucky to have those days. What was the bands you were in back then? Anything I would know?
Geez. Let's see. There's a band called Street Dancer I played with, who actually, the lead singer was J.T. Taylor from Kool and the Gang, and so he started there, and I can't even remember, but there was like 3 or 4 bands that I played in down there.
Yeah, so. And you know what? We were lucky to have that proving ground.
Right.
I mean, because how many guys that you started out with, in that parallel universe, how many of those guys are still doing it? You know what I mean? How many?
Exactly. That's exactly right. Being a sax player, all these guys were like, at the time when I first started, the sax was not in vogue at all. So everybody in my neighborhood took up the guitar, and they were all killing it. And I'm over here doing my scales and stuff like that. But they just all dropped out eventually, and I kept going. So,
Well, yeah, and it's interesting that you said, that you went between jazz and rock and roll, because not that rock and roll ever stopped for the sax, because it didn't. Billy Joel is obviously proof of that. But I know you know what I'm talking about. It got to a place where it was, it's kind of like having a B3. Do we really need to carry this around?
No, it's that. The horns were the first thing to go.
Right, but they were also the first thing to come back. Drum machine lasted way too long.
Please. Yep.
Yeah, you know, I say it on the show all the time, but you know what happens if you pour beer in the drum machine?
What?
It tries to sing.
Oh. Very nice.
I need my rim shot.
It's time for the questions.
Is it time for the questions?
It is time for the questions.
Oh, are you ready for the questions?
Okay. I'll do my best.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah, it's not.
Right.
There's nothing to be afraid
They're
of.
fun.
There's nobody listening to this. It's just us, the three of us, and out here in space.
Okay, very good.
And when I say out here in space, I'm serious. Anyway, okay. You've done a lot of touring, played with some amazing acts. You've been, you know, hill and dale. Favorite restaurant on the road when you know you're going to Sweden? I can't wait to eat at McChup-Chup's Chalupa stand.
No, thanks. That was not my favorite food. But being in Southside Johnny and the Jukes, one of the guys. What?
No, go ahead.
No, one of the guys, this guy Mark Pender, a great trumpet player who was on the Conan show for years. Actually, he's touring around right now with Kenny Wayne Shepherd. But he was from Kansas. My wife is from Kansas. And there's a great barbecue place in Kansas called Gates Barbecue. It's actually in Kansas City, Missouri, and it's unbelievable.
Wow. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
And another one was in Japan. This promoter, Mr. Udo, took the whole Julian Lennon band out to this Kobe beef place, and it was the most amazing food I've ever had in my life. So, those two places.
That's cool. That's pretty cool. See, when I was in Japan, the promoter took us out for sushi, and I wasn't with it at that point. And it was like
sushi experience.
Oh man! And I mean, you know, I love sushi, right? But I just don't want to recognize what it was. That's the only thing, you know.
Right.
And it's, you know, when it came out, you know, I was out there with some sushi experts. I mean, this fish came out, and Todd Rundgren takes a chopstick and he's making it talk. We're going to eat this.
No.
Yeah, it's just,
we're eating.
Yeah, they're eating during the show.
Yeah.
The first.
Anyway, okay, so
actually, the first time I had sushi was in Japan. We were playing at the Budokan, and I'm backstage, and I never had sushi. I was just like afraid of it, so I ate a ton of it. And I could barely move my hands. I felt so weird afterwards. Everything was fine, but it just gave me this weird feeling. So,
wow, I love it. And it's been a while since I've had it, so I'm due. But my wife, on the other hand, we can't even discuss it because she's got a very weak stomach, and it doesn't, you know. But that's okay.
Yeah, I live in Parsippany, which has a huge Indian population, and I love Indian food. Anytime I was in England, I'd always go out for Indian food because English food sucks so bad. But here in Parsippany, it's everywhere. My wife hates it, so I never get to eat it. So, I love that.
It's interesting that you would say that because I got turned on to Indian food in England, and I was, you know, I spent quite a long time there. Made a lot of records there, did a bunch of rehearsals there, and all in the same place. And I would go to this place, the Prince of India on Sheep Street, every night. I'd either get it to go, I'd go in there, and it was like the same thing. And that's where I got turned on to it. And I was going there for so many years, so many nights. They were sending me Christmas cards to America.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was great. And I wound up, it's interesting because the guy who turned me on to it said, oh, you don't want to eat fall, right? The blistering hot stuff. So I said, well, what's this? Vindaloo. He said, yeah, go ahead and try that. I mean... So what I wound up getting was I'd get the pila rice, but I would get chicken korma and chicken vindaloo and mix it together. And it was like...
There you go.
It was dealable. So, yeah.
Right. That's great.
I'm sure that the chef was not thrilled with me.
Hey, I'm back. I have to puke.
Oh, very nice. So yeah, she had to go puke, so she's back.
Right.
All right. Well, anyway, moving right along. You played in a number of musical situations along the way, and as a kid, whatever to whenever the set list comes out, and there it is, your favorite song to play live.
Ooh, my favorite song to play live. Oh boy. Well, this is not a rock song, but it's a jazz tune called All the Things You Are. I just love playing that tune. It's got amazing changes. Everything kind of flows really nicely. It's an old tune by Jerome Kern, and it's just a blast to play as a horn player,
There you go. Well, I would have to be. I mean, that's why I asked.
Yeah.
Because next, I want to know the song that you're not so happy to see on the set list. I have played this song too many times. Not that I hate it, but I don't ever want to play this song again. What's that song?
Well, that could be at the end of any tour, but also, in the past, 30 years, played a lot of club dates, meaning weddings, parties, all that stuff. And one of the songs that I just couldn't take one more time was Don't Stop Believing, which I used to like.
Yep.
And I just got so sick of it because it's like I'm burnt out on it. You know what I mean?
I got sick of hearing that.
Yeah,
song.
I got sick of hearing it too. And then and wasn't it the frickin' Sopranos that screwed that up for everybody?
Well,
It was the last song in the last scene. Well, it didn't screw it up. Didn't screw it up for them. They made them a ton more money. And, it's funny. The sound man for Julian Lennon's band was a guy named Kevin Elson. Kevin Elson produced that song. He produced like the first 3 Journey records, and he wanted to come out on the road and do live sound with us, which I thought was really amazing.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and he was also in the plane crash that killed what was that band?
Molly
Leonard Skinner.
Leonard Skinner.
Leonard Skinner, right? He was a survivor of that crash. He was their sound man and producer also.
Oh, so we saw him in the. Did you see If I Leave Here Tomorrow?
I haven't finished watching it. I don't know if he's in it, but he made a couple million because he broke his leg and tore up his hand, and he said they were just playing chicken. They were trying to see if they could make it to the airfield with what they had, gas wise, fuel wise.
Wow.
That's pretty wild.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah.
And the fact that, guys survived and other guys, I mean.
Yeah.
But, anyway, that's showbiz.
There you go. Yes, it is. That's for sure.
So do we have a song? Do we have the song?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I told you. The jazz tune.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Everything that you are?
All the things you are.
All the things you are.
And don't stop believing.
Right.
Okay.
And don't stop believing.
Right. So
It's okay. Stop believing. Okay. So sax player. This will be interesting because sax is usually is very many times the answer I get to this question. If you could play any other instrument other than sax or clarinet and absolutely shred at it, I mean, just top of the heap, what instrument would it be?
Probably piano, keyboards. I mean, I play a little bit. I really suck. I can get by. But, with the piano, you have everything there. You have the whole orchestras right in front of you. Anything you want is right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
88 keys.
That's it.
Yep. Yeah, that's nice. It's a great instrument. My mother played, so I grew up, there was always a piano around, and it's a great instrument.
It is. It's got everything.
Especially to compose on. It's really,
right.
It's kind of friendly because you can see everything.
Right. Like sometimes I'll have to write horn arrangements, and I always just put the horn down and just use the keyboard. It just makes it easier.
Do you transpose the keyboard so that you're playing in the horn signature, or do you do it in?
I do it in concert. It's pretty, second nature to me at this point. So.
Okay, so there you go. That's cool. That's also very good.
But that's good that you knew about the transposition, though.
Yeah,
I was
for a drummer.
Well, because I loved first of all, I mean, one of my most inspiring pieces of music from my whole history is West Side Story. And, when I came up in school, in White Plains. White Plains was the fastest growing city in the country or whatever it was. And so all of our school programs and everything was accelerated. And we got to see all this great stuff. I saw Leonard Bernstein at
Wow.
Lincoln Center. I mean, we were exposed to a lot. And I had great music teachers in elementary school. And, we did everything from Peter and the Wolf, that whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, sure.
And I love the orchestra, and as far as the technical terms, we needed to know all those, and I care about your instrument. I'll never play it. I mean, I know how to say, you still got your lip, but because I had a friend who played, all the brass stuff, and it's cool. It's cool to know the language that others are
Right.
speaking. So
That's true. That's really true.
so I was that part of my education, early education, was probably the best school experience ever because those are the things that I still remember and embrace.
Right, right. Good.
Good
stuff.
It's okay. So, all right. So now the big question. If you could play one show with anybody, living or dead, or any combination of guys, who would it be? And you could play piano if you want.
Okay, no, I want to play sax.
Okay.
But I was very fortunate to play on a Joe Cocker record called One Night of Sin. Actually, the Uptown Horns were on 3 songs, and another, the horn section with Mark Pender La Bamba from the Conan Show. We were the other horn section. We did 3 tunes with him, and it was incredible. And I always wanted to do a live gig with Joe Cocker. I think he just killed it. He was amazing.
He did kill, man. Believe me, I remember when Mad Dogs and Englishmen came out.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the boots, with the stars on them. I went out, couldn't find the blue ones, but I found them in brown. And he was awesome, Joe. I mean,
he really was, and it was amazing. I remember my parents go, "That guy will never make 30, and he'll never be able to sing like that." After a couple of years of blowing his voice out, but he still sounded great. This was in like '89, and he was still killing it. Amazing.
And the thing about it is, and we'll end it on a high note. If you can be identifiable with, by someone with their eyes closed, you really made a difference. No question that it's Joe Cocker. No question that it's Rod Stewart. No question, So it's
That's a good answer.
it's cool. Yeah, great answer.
Yeah.
Great answer. So what's next for you? Anything out there? Anything on the calendar?
Well, let's see. I think December 19th, I'm playing at the Stone Pony with
In Asbury Park. I know it well.
Park, with La Bamba's big band, and usually like Springsteen and Southside Johnny. A bunch of guys come out and sit in with us and stuff like that. It's like a benefit concert to help poor kids. So
who was the bass player in Southside Johnny when you were in the band?
Gene Boscia.
Okay. Don't know.
Why? Who are you thinking of?
I didn't ever really know the bass player. I used to know a girl that supposedly her claim to fame was dating the bass player in Southside Johnny. Her name was Lauren Arbini. That name ring a bell?
No.
I'm probably gonna get sued now. One of the craziest people I've ever known in my life, which is why you got the reaction before.
Right, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, it was, man. I wouldn't even. This is my show, and I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I don't give a shit what we talk about on here, but can't talk about that because it was. She was a great girl, respect, but wow, crazier than a shithouse rat.
What year was that? What years was that?
It had to be before us, right?
Oh,
So
yeah,
70
definitely.
something, 7.
Okay.
70.
Yeah,
I can tell you. Because Ina was going at, that's the one who went with Gordon. So 80 or 81.
Because I joined the Jukes in '81, and I think Gene Boscia was in the band then. Maybe that was him. Or you know the guy's name.
No. I know the girl's name. I think I just spit it all over the internet.
That might have been him, though. I was in from 81 to 85, and he was there before I got there. So,
chances are. Well, anyway, I hope maybe they're married, and
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, sorry, Lauren. It was a good crazy if that gets me out of any hot water. Anyway,
Right.
man, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to go and wash my mouth out with soap,
Okay.
and I will pass you some peas. I'll get some rhythm section peas. Send them your way. Have your way with these peas. And
Okay.
send them to the bass player in South Sergeant.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Well,
Man,
there's been like 5 bass players since then. So, there's hundreds of people who've been through that band.
Yeah, but not in 80 and 81.
Right.
I'm sure we could look it up.
Yeah, and so can everybody else. Now that I've said it, they can rewind. I'm going to have to erase this show. Rewind. What was that girl's name?
Hopefully she got married and that's not her name anymore.
That's right.
Well, it was her name. And
You know what? You're allowed to say.
I'm allowed to say?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
People say
You didn't say anything bad. You didn't say
no, I
anything
said she was,
Crazy.
no. And I meant that in the most endearing, creative, spontaneous way.
Yeah.
Not like, she didn't hurt anybody. Well,
Right.
Right.
I know of.
And remember, Free for All Friday.
Yes, Free for All Friday. You got to come in, man.
All right, I will.
Will be there. Got to represent. I got peas coming your way. Thank you, man. This was really a lot
My
of
pleasure. Same here.
fun. All right,
Nice
we'll see
talking
you
Bye,
soon.
Frank.
Thanks, man.
All right. Thanks,
Take
guys.
care.
Take care. Oh, look, I'm still there.
And there you go.
Yeah.
That's
Frank Elmo.
Frank, man. I can't wait to throw down with Frank. See, I gotta feel like I have to call him and tell him the backstory. Nobody remembers what I said.
No, they don't.
And I'm erasing this like in 2 minutes. It's not like it's
No,
on
you're not.
5 platforms and.
Okay, everybody, remember, tomorrow night.
Oh,
Free
Free
for
for
All
All Friday.
Friday.
You know about it. You've been there. You've seen it. You've heard the best. You've heard the worst. But maybe not yet.
We always have a good time.
Yeah, we love Free for All Friday. So come on in. It's free for all. And when is it?
Friday.
Oh, if I don't see you in the future, I'll see you in the pasture.
Good night, everybody.